The tiny kitten was always left alone. Nobody thought she mattered. But one happy little puppy walked up, sat beside her, and never left again. Slowly, the world learned that real friendship chooses the ones everyone else ignores. The rain had slowed down, but the tiny kitten was still sitting under the broken wooden bench behind the shelter. Her fur was wet, her whiskers trembling, and every time someone walked past, she tried to make herself even smaller, as if disappearing would hurt less. People came, looked at the bigger animals, and left. Nobody stopped for her. The kitten watched shoes, legs, voices, shadows. Sometimes hands reached toward her, then pulled away like they changed their mind at the last second. She didn't cry loudly. She just stayed quiet, breathing slow, scared that if she asked for love and it didn't come, it would hurt more. Near the gate, a playful puppy tugged at his leash. His ears bounced, his tail wagged like a tiny drum. He was full of sunshine, even though the day was gray. The volunteers laughed when they looked at him. "Such a happy boy," they said. But the puppy wasn't looking at them. He had already seen the kitten. His tail slowed, his head tilted. Something inside him became gentle. He carefully walked closer, step by step, like he knew she might run if he moved too fast. The kitten pressed herself back against the bench, heart beating fast. She glanced at the other dogs barking, at the loud sounds, at the strange world. Everything felt too big. But this puppy didn't bark. He sat down, quietly. Then he lowered his head until it almost touched the ground, like he was saying, "It's okay, I am small too." For a long moment, they just breathed near each other. The kitten's eyes softened. She could smell warmth, grass, milk, something safe. The puppy inched a little closer and gently nudged a fallen leaf toward her, as if offering a tiny gift. She didn't move, but she didn't hide either. A volunteer noticed and whispered to another, surprised. "Look, he chose her." Still, nobody came to adopt the kitten. People left again. The sun began to fade and the wind grew cooler. Night was slowly arriving. The puppy refused to go back to his bed. Each time someone tried to lead him away, he turned around and lay down beside the bench again, making himself her shield. The kitten slowly rested her head near his paw. Her eyes finally closed, not from weakness, but from feeling safe for the first time. Outside, thunder rolled far away. And just when the shelter lights flickered, a strange sound came from the gate, and both of them lifted their heads at the same time. Something or someone had arrived. The gate creaked open slowly, letting in a rush of cool air and wet leaves. The kitten curled tighter, but the puppy stood a little taller, ears lifting, tail still but not angry, just alert. A woman stepped inside, shaking the rain from her coat. She looked tired, like she had been searching for something she couldn't explain. The volunteer greeted her softly and asked if she was looking to adopt. The woman smiled politely, but her eyes didn't shine the way most people's did when they wanted a cute animal. Instead, her gaze drifted quietly around the room, thoughtful and careful, like she was listening with her heart. She passed the puppies first. They wagged, jumped, barked for attention. She touched a few heads, but something felt missing and she kept walking. Meanwhile, the puppy refused to move from beside the kitten. When the woman finally reached the back, she paused. There they were, the lonely kitten and the quiet puppy, sitting so close that it looked like they belonged together. The puppy gently pushed his nose against the kitten as if to say, "Stay calm, I'm here." The woman crouched down. She didn't reach out right away. She waited. The kitten peeked out, blinking slowly. The woman whispered in a soft, cracked voice, "Hi there, little one." Her hand stayed still. No rush, no grabbing, just patience. The puppy shifted and placed his paw protectively in front of the kitten, like a tiny guard. The woman noticed, and her eyes filled with tears she quickly wiped away. "You're protecting her," she murmured. The volunteer spoke quietly behind her. "Nobody wants the kitten. She's too small, too shy, but this puppy, he won't leave her." The woman closed her eyes for a second, as if remembering something painful. When she opened them again, her expression had changed, softer, braver. She finally extended her fingers very slowly. The kitten hesitated, then leaned forward, sniffing the woman's hand. There was no perfume, no strange smell, just warmth. The kitten touched her tiny nose to the woman's skin. The puppy wagged his tail again, just once like he approved. The woman whispered, "I know what it feels like to be left behind." The volunteer asked gently, "Would you like to meet them both?" The woman took a deep breath. But before she could answer, the lights flickered again and thunder boomed closer outside. The power hummed, then began to fade. Shadows stretched across the floor, long and uncertain. The kitten pressed closer to the puppy. The puppy leaned into her, ready to keep watch. And in that dim light, the woman finally spoke. But what she said made the volunteer stop in surprise, and suddenly everything felt like it was about to change.